Hey guys, what's going on? This is Ash here coming at you today in Raid Shadow Legends. Today we're going to be talking about one of the best campaign farmers inside the game. It is Relickeeper. Now the first thing we need to talk about when we talk about Relickeeper is that he is available to pretty much all of you guys. It might take a little bit of time, but he is always available to be fused, and he's a great champion to be available to be fused as well. So if you go to your portal, you go over to the fusion tab, you will see Relickeeper right at the top. He is pretty easy to fuse. Only rare champions needed and only one void. In the one void needed, it can be also fused using non-void rares. So what you want to do, I saw this on another YouTube channel, I forgot who mentioned it, but they just ascend one level on all the champions they need to fuse. That way they don't accidentally use those champions as food. You can also make sure you lock these champions. Just go ahead when you get a second and make a note of these 4 champions if you don't have Relickeeper, and write them down, and you'll have them at the ready for when you do collect them. You will have your very own Relickeeper. Now let's talk about Relickeeper. So I've invested a lot into my Relickeeper. He's a beast, as you guys can see. Today we're going to talk about, well, where he's used. Mainly he is used, we'll review him anyway, but mainly he's used inside the campaign. That's going to be definitely a 5 review score. We'll rate the rest of the scores later on in today's video. Let's talk about his skills first. He's a very basic champion to get a hold of. It's all about chaining his abilities. So starting out on the A1, Crusade. He only has 2 abilities and 1 passive, 2 active, 1 passive. And here it is, Crusade. Attack one enemy, gains an extra turn if the target is killed. So you can already see that snowball effect of Relickeeper coming into play here. Can keep going and going and going on the A1s as long as he's killing the enemy every single time. And then on the A2, Surging Strength. What else helps to make sure you're killing an enemy every single time on the A1? Well, how about a great A2 that places a 50% increased attack buff on this champion for 4 turns, then grants you an extra turn. This can be booked down from 6 to 4 turns as well. His passive is amazing as well. Ageless Endurance allows you to not have to run a lifesteal set with this champion. He can heal himself. When hit by an enemy, every time places a 15% continuous heal buff on this champion for 2 turns. So he heals himself as well. Now, really solid, and his aura as well is amazing for campaigns. Increase ally attack in campaign battles by 40%. So a 40% attack buff across the board to all allies inside campaign battles. So you guys get it. You know, his 2 active abilities, passive is going to be healing him. His 2 passives both gain an extra turn. His A2 always, Surging Strength, always gains an extra turn. And his A1 always gains an extra turn when the enemy is killed. So he's pretty self-explanatory. Now let's talk about how to gear him. Let's take a look at my stats on my Relickeeper. I have good speed at 185, good HP, which is the continuous heal, is based off of his max HP, obviously, with the 15% of his max HP. So HP could be a little bit higher, but it's plenty high. He's never going to be killed here unless I'm farming at very end game, but you wouldn't be farming with him solo in end game. He's really not a Nightmare campaign solo farmer, more up until Brutal and, you know, or you have to pair him with other champions, but he can solo all the way up until Nightmare, even some early Nightmare. Attack, you want it as high as possible. Mine is approaching 4,200. That's plenty. 185, I like him to have some nice speed on him as well, even though if he gets snowballing, if he gets chaining, it doesn't really matter. It's all about getting to that next attack if he's not one-shotting the enemy. And then his crit rate, 88, really want that at 100. So if I had to nitpick one thing about this kind of overall stat picture here, I would get that crit rate at 100, and the crit damage could be higher as well at 117%. Hey, 100 and 150, 160 would be even better, and I could probably sacrifice some attack to make that happen on my overall champion. So accuracy is not important on him. Don't need to focus on accuracy. So here he is, Relickeeper. We'll take a look at the artifacts that I have on him. I have, what do I have? A speed set, a cruel, and an offense set. So getting that extra 30% on his attack. Remember, he also has the 40% aura on attack in campaign battles. So just some serious scalability in terms of his overall attack. And then, you know, I want to add the speed to him as well. So I have crit damage. The main stat priorities for Relickeeper: attack percentage, crit rate, crit damage, speed. Those are the only 4 that you really care about. HP being kind of a distant 5th for that continuous heal to, to be giving more heal on him, right? And to give more sustainability on him. But again, it's not all about, I would focus on the attack, right? Attack percentage, crit rate, crit damage, speed. So as you can see, the gear I have is actually really good. Could use a little bit more crit rate, but still a lot of speed, a lot of attack on all of this gear here. Check it out. HP, actually 3 rolls on the HP on the weapon. So that's where he's getting most of his HP from, honestly, just in this whole artifact set. It's really this speed weapon. And then some defense too. Hey, I'll take it, I guess. Not ideal. Again, defense is not what we're looking for here, but it never hurts. Defense is a great stat to have. Crit rate always on the gauntlets. We always want attack percentage on his chest unless you're using him outside of campaign. If you're using him in high-end dungeons, clan boss, arena, although he's not recommended obviously for those areas, you will want to go ahead and give him more sustainability, give him that defense or HP chest. But 99 times out of 10 you're going to be using the attack percentage on the chest. And then speed, I'd recommend speed on the boots. You can go attack percentage if you want to go ahead and scale him to be a one-shot monster, because again, speed is irrelevant if he's going every single turn. So it really depends on where you're farming with him, whether you want to go with speed or attack percentage on the boots. I chose speed because I'm farming mainly in Nightmare. So then for his jewelry, again, I went with attack. You really want defense on the ring, but whatever. Went with attack, crit damage, and resistance. That's totally fine. You could go HP on the banner ideally, but it's really about the substats here. More HP, I guess, in attack and speed. Not too bad on this banner. So that's how I have him built. In terms of his masteries, you have a couple choices here on the offensive tree. I ended with War Master down the very bottom left. Has a 60% chance of inflicting that bonus damage equal to 10% of the champion's max HP that he's targeting. Again, on campaign, this is just going to give him a little bit extra oomph to most, or at least more often than not, on his attacks. So not too bad. You can also go, a lot of people go with Flawless Execution to give that higher crit damage. You could definitely flip a coin there. I'm trying out War Master on him, but crit damage would be the other option. Now, I really recommend you guys go defensive tree for him as well, because it's all about, as we talk about a lot here on these champion guides, it's all about the retribution, giving him a 50% chance to counterattack when he loses 25% of his max HP from one single enemy hit. That's really good. It's going to proc really often because oftentimes he gets hit. He's a robust unit, a robust champion, but at the same time, a lot of the times he's going to be taking more than 25% of his HP damage, usually around 33% chance to 50% chance. So he's going to have a coin flip of getting that counterattack on a proc as well. So really solid to have retribution on him. And again, he's a really easily accessible champion. Now let's go ahead and review him here, and then I think the reviews are pretty much on point. He's a 5 campaign locations. If anybody's a 5, he is a 5. The only downside is no AoE, but in terms of chaining, snowballing, he's amazing. Arena offense, I do see him in arena. I'm going to give him a 4 because I don't think he's not going to be one-shotting too many champions, especially as you get to kind of mid-tier arena and beyond. Certainly you don't see him in like platinum arena, so we'll give him a 4. He is good early game. Spiders, he's worthless. We'll give him a 1. Clan boss, he is not good. I'm going to give him a, I guess it's either useless or acceptable, right? I'm going to give him a useless. I would not use him in clan boss. I would not use him in arena defense as well. And then you can use him certainly. We'll give him a good in pretty much all of the dungeons. I would not say he's high tier, definitely not good in Fire Knights, but you can see he has solid ratings. I guess very good, I don't know. Good to very good, but you know what it is, guys? It all depends on the team that you put these champions with. There's no easy answer, right? And it depends on what champions you have. He can be good, he can be serviceable, he can be putting out a ton of damage for your team. Let's go ahead and see him inside, where he shines, right? Let's use him in the campaign, and let's go ahead and go. We are in Brutal right now. I can show you him in Nightmare as well, but obviously it's a little bit different. He won't be able to run the whole show himself. Let's go. I'm trying to go with a good affinity match up. I guess we'll go over here. So we're just going to run him with Apothecary. He can go solo too, but just take a little bit longer. Obviously, you want to run him with a team of 4. Ideally, maybe one champion you're trying to level up, and then the other 2 champions are either providing buffs or debuffs to the opponent's team, right? Or speed buffs. So running him with Apothecary is going to be great. You're going to see him right now. Basically, I have him on auto. He's a really nice auto champion as well. You can see he one-shots, extra turn. We keep going, right? So speed. Now let's see if we can get that one shot on. Boom, dead, 62k. Boom, dead, goes again. Boom, dead, goes again. Boom, dead, goes again. You guys get the point, right? So, you know, like I said, you don't even need him necessarily with Apothecary, but it just gives him that sustainability. You know what? Just watching this, it's like, okay, it's ridiculous that we even have him with Apothecary at all. He can do this solo, and you can see 30 seconds, not too shabby on his own, right? So let's go ahead and take him in and just show you on, put him in a Nightmare team and see if he can one-shot anybody on that same level. I doubt it. It's just not enough. Like, these champions have way too much defense and HP to be able to one-shot, but we're gonna have to put him with somebody else too. Let's put him with, like, Miscreated and have him do the bulk of the damage here. So you guys can see that it's going to be a little bit different, I think, a little bit different when we get to Nightmare here. You can see, yeah, he's doing like half of the damage, not even, I mean, 1/3 of the damage on his first hit there, but still he's going to be proccing these extra turns because he'll get the final blow, especially with this comp. You can see it right there, and then he goes again, he self-buffs, extra turn. He's going to be placing those continuous heals every time he gets shot. So you can see, continuous heal for 2 rounds goes up, soothing chant, he's back, he's another turn, and this is a negative affinity matchup for him as well, but things are looking just fine here. He has Force Affinity too, which is actually really good. Force Affinity champions are generally speaking, next to Void, the best out there, just because, especially in Arena, a lot of Spirit and Magic is super popular right now in the meta, so having Force is generally speaking considered to be a good thing. So you can see he's hitting for decent damage, and with this comp, like, he's solid in terms of we're not speed farming here to end this video out, but we're putting out a decent amount of damage, and we're really not in jeopardy of losing anybody. And truthfully, end game Nightmare, these are challenging levels. Like, these mobs have a ton of HP, they have a ton of defense, and they put out a lot of damage. You just can't really tell with this comp because we have a really good sustainability here with this trio. Now, we might actually be taking some serious damage here. You can see, actually, he might go down. Let's see. Continuous heals have procced on him. He's going to self-buff, and now it looks like the tide has shifted back into our favor, but that was a close call. He was around, like, 1/3 HP. Soothing Chant is down. We're going to go ahead and finish off Kymar, and then just kind of keep the ball rolling. There we go. Now he's proccing those extra turns. So things looking pretty good here, but again, it takes a lot more time, right, when we're talking about the further we progress into Nightmare. But you can see it's definitely sustainable. He puts out a lot of damage, 643,000 damage, so doing most of the bulk of the work there and increasing the attack of everybody with that aura. So this has been a guide for the Relic Keeper inside Raid Shadow Legends, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Let me know what champion you want me to review next, or if you're dying, if you just pulled a great champion, you want to know what I think of him, how he does, just let me know in the comments below. And if you like this content, be sure to subscribe, guys. I really appreciate it. Thank you for watching, and as always, take care, guys.